If you're looking for the pickups for Les Paul electrics, here's a list you must see. There was always something special about the Les Paul sound, and much of it came from the pickups. If you have the guitar, there may come a time when the pickups will have to be replaced. Or maybe you will just fancy a change. Then you will be looking for the best Les Paul pickups. Customer. If you want to get a good quality pickups for Les Paul electrics according to your needs, then watch the video till the end and then decide to buy. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Seymour Duncan Antiquity Humbucker set, best classic Les Paul pickups. I happen to think that Seymour Duncan makes exceptional pickups in whatever they do. But for the Les Paul, they seem to excel. The name Antiquity indicates they have tried to return to the past. In many ways, they have. The pickups undergo an aging process in the factory to give them that well-used look. Pickups get their fair share of wear and tear, and this makes them look like they have been around the block a few times. As a result, these are some of the best vintage-looking Les Paul pickups you can buy. Seymour Duncan created a special plain enamel mag wire for these pickups and included 2-bar, 2.5-inch Alnico magnets. There's a single conductor braided lead wire, so no split coil wiring. The pickups have nickel-silver covers and bottom plates with long mounting legs. They have been able to stick even closer to original designs. They use a mold for the Beauty Rate bobbins that was created by the same factory that made the Gibson original PAF molds. Another authentic design that the humbuckers are not wax-potted, which creates a sound of its own. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Seymour Duncan Pearly Gate set. Let us stay with Seymour Duncan and go from one design style to another. The Antiquity had a mellow, smooth sound. These are a different kettle of fish. These can bite. They are a pair of pickups that stay close to the Les Paul sound but with just a little extra. What is most noticeable is the amount of punch coming from the mid-range. The amount of output, and therefore the extra drive, makes these pickups sound special. But it isn't just the mid-range that packs some power. It is also evident that as you move up the fingerboard, the higher notes remain prominent. High notes can sometimes be overshadowed by the depth and resonance of the lower notes and frequencies. Not with these. This gives a certain clarity to the higher notes and allows any riffs played at the high end to stay out front and not get swallowed up. The number 3 position is held by DiMarzio PAF D103 Humbucker. DiMarzio is another name that comes with a pedigree for producing great pickups. This is an interesting design that harkens back to some vintage feel. The path, or patent applied for, was a vital part of the development of the sound of the Les Paul. They were the predominant pickup in the late 50s and the early 60s on most of Gibson's better guitars. Therefore, it is natural to expect that DiMarzio will have attempted to recreate that sound. This is what they have done. These are not all bells and whistles screaming pickup. They are a bit more refined than that. They have a smooth sound that would be ideal for playing some chords as opposed to soloing. Therefore, this is one of the best rhythm pickups for Les Paul guitars. And a great Les Paul pickup for jazz, I might add. But depending on how, and more importantly, we use them, the effect achieved can be different. Being that it is a gentler pickup in the way it sounds, placing it at the neck, you will expect a smooth, warm sound. That is what you get. This is going to work well if the bridge pickup is a bit tasty and has a higher output. The adjustment of the controls can result in a blending of both sounds. That will give you a smooth sound, but with a little sustain from the bridge. Next at number 4 we have EMG JH James Hetfield Signature. EMG has been producing pickups since 1976 and has built a reputation for producing high-output products. Some people like them, others claim the sound is a bit too compressed. But with these pickups in their name, you know what you are going to get from the outset. When you think of James Hetfield, you tend to think of a trademark style. Blistering riffs and screaming high tones that are so much a part of the Metallica sound. But there is a little bit more to these pickups than brain-melting distortion. When Gibson made the first Les Paul guitars, I'm sure they had no idea what they were creating. It was an instrument that allowed great expression in the hands of those who could actually play. The woods used in the manufacture, the setup of pickups, and the other hardware generated a natural sustain. That is one reason it has become so popular with those whose job it is to solo. And this is one of the best Les Paul soloing pickups you will find. The number 5 position is held by Fishmanfluence modern humbucker Alnico. Some may be more familiar with the Fishman name for acoustic electric guitars, but they make a mean humbucker that has a great performance. One great benefit of the original humbuckers that Seth Lover designed was noise reduction. Hum and buzz were a perpetual nightmare, but the humbucker all but got rid of it. I say all but because some pickups, regardless of the claims of their manufacturers, do give off a little bit of unwanted noise. A quality that the Fishman pickups offer is a completely noiseless performance. These claim to be noiseless, and they are, unlike some. These two pickups bring together some of the best sound options. Alnico magnets give you the power and inexplosive sound for playing chords. Ceramics give you the cutting edge when you need it. They both work well in either neck or bridge positions. The number 6 position is dominated by Gibson Gear M57B and BurstBucker Type 2 pickup. Despite Gibson's management seemingly being able to consistently push a self-destruct button, the Les Paul is still here. After all, it takes real business acumen to bankrupt a company that has a Les Paul guitar as its flagship. And if anyone should know what the guitar needs, it should be them. Their knowledge of how to build a humbucker for a Les Paul is something that cannot be disputed. Unlike the business decisions that could have meant no more Les Pauls at all. Not the most glamorous of names, but I will ignore that. I am more interested in what it sounds like. In the neck position, it didn't impress. It delivered a bit of a nothing sound that felt it needed a little something to get it going. It has an Alnico V magnet, so possibly I was just expecting a little more. The mid-range felt downplayed, compressed, and subdued even though it seemed to be boosted. It sounded limited and could only be called a pickup suitable for most middle-of-the-road sounds. This is a slightly different story. There are plenty of PAF replicas doing the rounds that claim an authentic sound. Most don't produce it, really, but in the bridge position, this goes close. It adds a little warmth that you would expect from a vintage pickup, but still nothing really to be excited about. Probably might be best in a 50s rock and roll band where nothing too much is demanded in variations in sound. The best thing I can say is that it is a versatile pickup that will fit most middle-of-the-road occasions. For me, though, the big negative is the price point. For what it is, this pickup is very expensive. This is a guitar renowned for having a powerful tone, so that is what you should look for. The design and the look have only been a small part of its success. It is the sound that made it what it is. That's all for today. We upload music product review videos in every single day. So, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for the upcoming video notification.